welcome back to Sticks and Strings. I'm Naomi.
I'm Beth.
I'm Eve.
And we're back. I came back from camping. I didn't get eaten by a bear, although it came very close. But happy June. And I guess we're mid-June now? No, not yet mid.
Not quite.
We're still early. We're still early June.
It's only the 9th.
But we're about to leave tomorrow. We're going to
Yes.
New Mexico for our high school youth orchestra reunion. And I don't know if you can see. I'll put a close-up. I'm representing 1985, so I had to put my 1985 nails on. Thank you, Rachel, for the color streak. But it's like a, you see, it's called No Duh. That's what it's called. And it's like very 80s, like graphic colors, pink and green and blue and funny. Anyway, so yeah, we're getting ready to do that, and I have to go home and practice. I did not practice enough, but I did some very intense listening.
Except for the Monka Malden piece that we're doing. I think I've played all those pieces.
Well, you have.
Yeah.
I haven't played them in a while, but anyway.
Dvorak.
Yeah, but we're traveling to New Mexico and stay with one of our aunts and see our cousin, celebrate her birthday.
Yes.
It'll be fun. I guess I'm going to go first. Shall I go first?
Yeah.
Okay. I have a finish. Ta-da! This is my bust knitting sock. It looks a little, like, the foot looks short, but I tried it on last night and it's pretty good. And here's my little toe that I grafted on the bus. Well, I finished the knitting on the bus on the way to work, and I had forgotten my yarn needle, and I was like, can I make a yarn needle out of a paper clip at work? And I did. But it was a mistake. It was the lesson of just because you can do a thing doesn't mean you should do that thing. Because what happened was, I think I still have it. I think I saved it somewhere. Oh yeah, it might be. Oh, I don't know. But it was. I took a little paper clip and I straightened it, and then I bent the other end around, and I was like, look at that, it's a yarn needle. But I didn't have time to use it at work, and I started using it on the bus, which was a little bit like and where the paper clip was folded back, it was snagging on the yarn. And I also didn't have scissors, so I had to violently break the yarn with my keys. And it's like all shredded. I don't know why I was so impatient. All I had to do was go home and like just sit on the bus.
Like I said,
I have to do something on the bus.
On your on Facebook or Instagram where you posted it, I said it's like stapling your pants.
Yeah,
when your hem goes.
When your hem goes down. Yeah. So don't make yarn needles out of paper clips. It doesn't work. But yeah, so I'm going to sit here and weave in the ends. I just have this end here. And also, I did the next day take my yarn needle with me and did the Kitchener stitch at the end here on the bus. And I couldn't see well, and I wound up with a big loop here, so I've got to fix it. But anyway, so there's my one sock finished. And I actually wound up winding the other skein of the yarn up into a ball because I wanted to start with the inside end, and I couldn't find it. So I just wound the whole thing back up. But on this skein of yarn, there are 2 knots. One near the other end, which I'm hoping I won't get to, but one smack in the middle. I was so mad. There weren't any knots in this skein, and there are 2 in this one. So that's very annoying. But so I might get the next sock started. I'm going to try to start with this brown here so that maybe they'll be similar, maybe not exact twins, but I'm going to try to, that's why I wanted to start with this end of the yarn, because anyway, so that's my sock that I finished, and update on my camping knitting. So I remember this little blankie, I took it with me, and I got a decent amount done, sitting in my chair with my daughter. It's still not a blanket size, but it's getting there. And it was perfect knitting because we were just sitting and talking, and I didn't have to think about it. I didn't have to follow a pattern. And it was real nice to have just some downtime I did try. I did try one night to knit. I have that little neck light, and I tried to use it in the tent one night, but I was sitting there, and a bug went right up my nose. I was like, no. So it was hard to use that little light because the little bugs were.
Yeah.
But we had a nice. I'll put up a picture of our campsite. We had our big tent, and then we had this. It looked like an egg, because it was like a. It comes like a sunshade, like twisted up, and you untwist it, and then you unfold all the pieces, and it's like a big shade screen structure. It's shaped like an egg, and that was real nice because we ate in there, so the flies weren't. I mean, it wasn't 100% because it doesn't have a floor. It wasn't like an actual tent, but it was pretty good, keeping the bugs out and stuff like that. So and my daughter started a big. I think I talked about it last week. Did I talk about it? She started just a knitting a big a sweater that's like just 4 pieces. It's just a front and a back, and then 2 arms. So 2 squares, 2 rectangles, and you just stitch it here, and then you attach the top of the shoulder, and then you just do the arm and side stitch seam, and it's like a thin yarn with big needles, and I think I talked about it in our little update. And so she finished one whole side while we were there camping, and then cast on for she finished like one whole front and cast on for the back. And she was so proud of herself. She's like, look, I finished it. Because I taught her how to cast off up there in the mountains. So it was real nice, like sitting outside and knitting with her and just chatting. So this is perfect camping knitting. If you're ever going somewhere like that, make yourself a 10-stitch blanket. So I don't know when I'll work on it again. Maybe, it's also good, like simple, but it is getting big now. So if it was warm outside, it would be hot. It would be hard to do. And then the other thing I worked on, you remember I talked about the day my doggy died, I started this project. It's called the Think Like an Artist cowl. It's part of my Knit Stars season 6 patterns that we got. You can kind of see the color work here. I'll put a close up. This is the beginning. It's just 2 different kinds of 2 different colors of purple and white. 2 colors on each line, and I started it with some bamboo needles, and they were killing my hands, and so I went on Amazon and I bought, because this is a 16-inch needle, a 16-inch circumference, and I have a 16-inch interchangeable set, but it doesn't have a size 2. It only goes down to a 3, and I was worried that if I used a 3 I would run out of yarn before I was finished. So here's the 3 colors that I'm working on right now for this, and then I've got all these colors for the rest of the cowl. This is that Georgia O'Keeffe set that I talked about some time ago, and so it just starts with the purples, but then it moves on to other things. But I was worried that if I used the 3 I would run out of yarn, and I didn't gauge swatch because. So anyway, but so I was using the bamboo that I bought. I have it right here. This one. And it was nice enough, but bamboo is very sticky, and this is very sticky. It's non-superwash wool, so it's very sticky. So sticky plus sticky meant that my hands were really struggling to get the stitches to slide. Sticky yarn. And sticky needles, and so I got these. This is I'm gonna expose it. Look, see the red? Can you see the red? It's Chai-Gu. Chai-Gu is like, it's becoming fast my favorite brand of needles. The cables are so nice. They don't get like this. They don't have memory, so they don't like the longer plastic like this will sometimes twist like that on its own and not want to sit nicely, and these they're plastic coated steel, so they're a dream. Anyway, so I was like, one day I'm going to have a whole Chai-Gu set, but today I'll just order this 16-inch needle. So it came in the mail, and I've been very happy with it. So that's what I've been working on. I have to decide what I'm taking to New Mexico. Hannah told me I should take this because it's very complicated, and I should have something. I don't know. You know how I talk about how different kinds of patterns that I need, but I think that with all the rehearsing and everything and driving, I'm going to be tired.
That's what I was thinking about, like what I should take and what I'm going to have time to work on.
Yeah.
And then lighting. You know.
I'm going to want something to do. So I'm thinking about the 10-stitch blanket. I'm thinking about Rachel's shawl. And I'm thinking about, I thought about the sock, but that's boring. I don't want to take the sock. The sock is good for the bus because what else are you going to do? And you got 20 minutes, you know. But I don't want to take the sock with me. So, I don't know. I'll have to think about it.
She's going to have a New Mexico start.
Huh? Oh, no, I cannot start something new.
So you could take one of the shawls you're working on.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna take Rachel's shawl. I want to get that finished. Poor Rachel, she's been waiting for it forever. So I want to get that finished.
Because it's so cold here now.
Well, you know, whatever. But
it was what, 108 yesterday.
It's going to be 113 or something crazy this
weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you guys will be in New
hot.
Mexico where
it's really hot.
Yeah, yeah. It's when it usually doesn't get this hot this early. First, we couldn't get it up over 100 so we could swim. Now
we're WIPs.
It's like,
and now it's
like,
too
hot.
Oh, but one of the things in this Think Like an Artist cowl, I have a little red marker here because I noticed last night that at some point I dropped a stitch somewhere in here. So next time I come around this way, I'm going to have to try to ladder down and figure out what I did and hope that there's enough yarn in the floats back here. You can see where the colors are floated back here. I hope there's enough give in the floats to make up for the stitches that I dropped. But anyway, that's how things go. But I'm surprised I was looking for mistakes last night because I was like, I've been doing a lot of this kind of in my sleep and, you know, sleepy night knitting, and there's only that one mistake, and I'm really kind of proud of that. So this is kind of one of this very complicated long-term process knits that I'm not going to worry about. It's for me. It's my own. So when I feel like really, I've been wanting to do color work, so I'm glad to have it. But anyway, that's me. I don't have any new starts in the future. I saw that somebody was doing some kind of sock summer camp, and I was like, but then I decided no, not.
I'm going to go next because I have an Etsy shop.
Okay, but first, this is really cute.
A knot.
Where did you get this?
Hobby Lobby.
So,
it's so cute.
My niece graduated from college.
Yes, she did.
And I wanted to get her something for her graduation. But I made something. I made her this, hers is slightly different, but this kitty scissor fobs. One is, they're different color beads, and one has a black kitty on the end, and the other one has a white kitty on the end. But the lobster clasp up top is also a kitty. And they come with a split ring in case you want to use it as a keychain. So
you know, I was trying to say lobster claw the other day, like I guess last week or whenever I did an update about it, and I was like, I couldn't think of the word lobster claw. I was like, the hook thing, the hook. I know there's a name for it, and I just can't think of it.
So these are up in our Etsy shop. If you like kitties, I'm putting that down so that I can concentrate.
Oh, speaking of kitties, before you go, we got an email from one of our viewers. Thank you, Janice.
Oh, yeah.
Talked about these free patterns by Doreen Jones, World of Cross Stitch, free cross stitch charts, all kitties. And I'll put a picture, but isn't that cute? It's so cute. These at least 3 patterns with like
colorful kitties.
Kind of
They're beautiful.
Art Deco or something. Really, really cute. So anyway, thank you, Janice, for that tip.
Because you know we like kitties.
Yes, and like new patterns that you get that you have too many to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a big old pile of stuff I'm working on. I'm like, why haven't I gotten any progress done? Because I have all these different projects. I
You sound
finished.
like me.
I finished the snowball star. It's not snowball star. This portrait snowman.
It's all finished and bound.
It's all
Oh,
finished.
look at the
It's
binding. Oh, how cute is that?
I took 2 days sewing it because the binding. My knit feels better, but it
Is your sewing machine all full of fuzz now?
No,
It probably is. Just you never clean it.
no, it's not. And then one of my June calls. We'll put a picture because I don't have it here with me. Spring Bookmarks by Cross Stitching for Fun, and I'm working on the daffodils.
WIP-GO?
Yes, isn't that what I said?
No.
No.
You
WIP-GO
said
calls.
one of my calls, but you didn't say
June
WIP-GO.
calls
Yeah.
for WIP-GO. I'm working on the daffodil one. It's got a white flower daffodil, white flower daffodil.
You see?
Oh, is it the bookmarks?
pretty.
That's pretty.
Yeah. So that's what I'm working on.
Is that the border, that blue?
Yes.
Oh.
That's what I'm working on right now. Because I haven't been working on it. Because I've been doing other things. So
I'm working on a knot. I don't know.
So for cross stitch camp, I chose the hands-on design summer basket, and I'm doing this one up here, which to me looks like a 4th of July stars and stripes. I love it. And this is my progress so far. Now I have redone the white stars on this more times than I want to talk about, because I love this fabric, the color, and I think it looks great with all of the colors, but the white barely shows up. And a viewer from my channel suggested that perhaps some white etoile would help, and it did, but only just a little bit. So I'm actually stitching them with 3 threads. One is like a silvery white, and one is white, and one is the etoile, and it shows up. Now I can see it, but since I'm not going to be, this isn't for photographs, this is for, my house, I can see it, and that's all that matters. When I look at it, I can see the stars. So I'm going to go ahead and stitch. I took out all the white, except there is a white border all the way around, and that I'm thinking I might backstitch around that border with this dark teal color, but I'll make that decision when it's done. So I've been working on this probably a lot more than I should have, and yeah.
Well, it's hard, when you have to make those color experiments, basically. That because you say, oh, this might work, and then no, it doesn't. So this might work, and it doesn't, So it takes you twice as long to do it, as you would ordinarily.
And I was still working on this pattern, The Greatest Story. I finished the red, started the blue, but then I've been working so much on these other things that I haven't gotten very much farther. But I want to still keep plugging away at this at least once a week and try to get it completed, because I'm really liking the way it looks. And then
Was that on your WIP-GO, or you just did
that was
it?
WIP-GO for May, but I crossed that off because I've done I went ahead and I did the challenge. I mean, it was a certain number of days, and I've done that. But I want to just keep working on it. So been working on Stitching with the Housewives, Daisy May. On the summer basket, I didn't say hands-on design. It's hands-on design, and I'm doing it on a. So I forgot to say that I bought this at Hobby Lobby. It's 14 count. It's a Swigart in the color Spa. So it's like a minty green, not quite minty. I don't know what. anyway, it goes very well with the teals that are in this pattern. And so I love it. But it's 14 count Ada. And this is 14 count Ada that I dyed myself. And now we're back on to Daisy May. And this is by Stitching with the Housewives. Yeah, I know there's threads there. I'm sorry. This is the progress I have so far. I had gotten this whole other ear done, and I realized that there was something wrong. Maybe the ear. Yeah, the ear's over here. Yes. So the count was off. And it was because right in here, I had done one too few down. And, you know, I remember counting it, and counting the pattern, counting my stitches. It wasn't until I went back up and went, that's not right. And I thought about leaving it. But I had to just, I went back as far as I had to be able to snip the thread and take out where I needed to, and then, you know, continue down. I wasn't going to go all the way back and try to, you know, take that off. But she went in timeout because of it.
Like me and my backwards R's. H's.
They were backward H's. Yeah, so I still love this pattern. I just, with the other things I was working on, cross stitch camp and WIP-GO, I just, it's like,
Ain't nobody got time for that.
I'm putting this aside for right now, just for a little while. And then my berry SAL, I got the white in. I was all excited. I wanted to keep working on it, and my eyes do not want to obey me. So I was stitching along on this. I don't know if you can see, there's a lighter, it's not white, it's called green onion. It's only slightly white-ish, you know.
Green onion.
The name of the color.
That's fun.
Is green onion. And there's a little tire right here with a red cap on the tire and then black underneath for the actual tire. And I just cannot keep track of what I'm doing. And so I look at the stitches and go, okay, I counted that. Okay, yeah, that's right. No, it's not. And I had gotten, on this one, I had gotten all the way over here. So I had to go back all the way to this little tire thing because I miscounted where it goes up.
I'm sorry.
Very frustrating. But Helen D has finished, she fully finished them. They look so cute. And on the top of this one, tiny little s'mores. And I, when I looked at the pattern, I don't see any little s'mores there, but she made tiny little s'mores.
She just decided to do it.
I guess. I guess, yeah. This one that has, you know, the summer, the white one here, it has a white rose on top. It looks like a floral rose or something like you buy in the floral department. I don't know. It doesn't look like it's made out of felt or anything. But, and it's got some beads. But I don't see s'mores there. But she made tiny little s'mores. I'm like, I can't wait till she made a video on how to do it, how to make those tops on there. Mm-hmm. I can't wait to watch that. I want to know how to make tiny little s'mores. I can picture tiny little s'mores at lots of places.
Cute.
Yeah. So basically, I'm doing more unstitching than stitching. I stitch something, take it out, stitch it again, take it out, stitch it again, take it out. Fortunately, every time I do that, I
cross stitch.
If it's worth doing, it's worth doing twice.
It's worth doing. It's worth doing twice. That's the theme. That's our theme this summer.
So, hopefully, these aren't really big. Hopefully, I'll be able to
Do 'em 3
advance a little
times
bit.
and get them done.
Yeah. What is this? Sorry, there's a piece of thread, and I'm like, there's like 4 different color yellow in this one flower. Which color is this one? I don't know.
Yeah, it's like last night night before last, whatever, I was like looking at one of my WIP-GO projects, and I was like, there's a, I was putting some threads away that were in the bag, and I was like, what color is this thread? Because it doesn't match the I had bobbinated or whatever. I was like, it doesn't match this color and doesn't match that color. I don't know where it's from or what it is or whatever. So you done?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't know. This is really tiny, and I don't know if I did it right or not.
Well,
Anyway.
I'm sewing in ends into black yarn, so I don't know what I'm doing. I'm over here going like this.
So what I'm working on right now is my camp piece, Good Must I Be. And I'm actually, this is all as bigger it is. This is the whole size of it. It's very tiny.
Oh, cute.
Because I'm doing it on 22 count switch hardanger.
22.
So, yeah. So it's like Ada, so Ada is 14, 16, 18, and when it's 22, it's called hardanger. And so I'm stitching over 1, like you would with Ada, but that means it's very tiny. And there's a couple of things, like there's a stitch missing on this E, but it's fortunately, like there's some green stitches on this little stocking, and the little hanger of the stocking that's in this picture is done with 2 strands, so I can do all that at the same time. But so it's kind of a little fussy. And right now I'm working on the Santa's little hat. And
it's very cute.
But yeah, so I did all the dark red, and it's a mixture of weak Styworks and DMC. But it's very tiny. And down here on the pattern, the designer had put her son's name, and I guess she called it Avery's Ornament, I guess, in the instructions or something.
Oh, I see. Avery.
But so I was trying to decide, what, whose name I wanted to put there, if I was going to put any name. I thought about just putting like little white snowflakes, there's
to finish, keep
across the bottom, yeah.
That's cute.
But I think what I'm going to do, I used my
Your backwards
my backwards H thing,
font.
yeah, to see if I could do
Puck and Snug?
Puck and Snug on there.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, so if I could, I think it would fit right under there, like if I put these little snowflake things out.
Yeah.
So I could fit it in there. And so yeah, this is the
But there's
font.
one problem with that.
Mm-hmm.
Puck and Snug will never be good enough for Santa to come see them.
Yeah,
They're naughty
that's
babies.
right. Makes me kind of sad, because I think I'm gonna have to make an appointment. I want to do it when I get back, but I think Snug has something. I hope it's not oral cancer, but something wrong with his mouth. When he won't let me really look at it.
Yeah.
But it seems kind of swollen, and
No.
Yeah, and he's been like he's always rubbing his mouth on stuff.
He might have a bad tooth. Might
Yeah,
just be a
I
bad
don't know.
tooth.
Yeah, I'm hoping. But anyway, so I don't know if he's gonna have to wear a cone, if he's gonna have to take medication or whatever.
Mm.
So I'm waiting till I get back from Albuquerque to deal with that. But anyway, so yeah, so this is, and I think this is like tea dyed. This fabric, tea dyed by me, a long time ago. So I've had that fabric for a while. So anyway, that is my cross stitch camp piece for
I'm going
June.
to interrupt you for a second. Look. Ta-da!
I thought you were showing me your foot.
Ta-da! Okay, sorry.
So my WIP-GO pieces.
I'm less stunned about the sock than I am about the fact that you can put her foot up.
One of my WIP-GO
That's about all I can do.
numbers is there were I don't remember which is which, but anyway, one of them is this kitty. I had just barely started it. This is a la-di-da pattern.
La-ti-da.
La-di-da. What is that girl's name?
Making a joke.
Markovich.
Oh, that's so
Lori
cute.
Markovich, I think. But anyway, it's done on black, like a black linen, and it's all done in silks. But there's a DMC conversion, and so when I started it, I started in DMC. But the problem is with this pattern, these kitties are like basically a gray and white or whatever, off white and a gray, a darker gray color. So I was somehow, I don't know if I had a bobbin of the whatever color, but I had written, like I had penciled in there, a number of some color, but now I can't find a bobbin of that color, so I don't know if it's in some project somewhere, but it's not in my box of DMC. So I thought about it, thought, well, should I go like lighter, should I go darker, or something, and I decided to go with black, and it looks really good. It says black and white kitties.
Nice.
And
She always has black and white cats. Why not?
and so I decided to. And this is linen that I bought at the attic because I love this color, and I didn't have any idea what I was going to put on it. It's 30 count linen by the Primitive Hair, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful color of dark green. And so I started this pattern, and it was really hard because it's such a dark color, and I'm stitching 2 over 2. And I guess a year ago when it came up I was doing WIP Mania, and so I had like one day on it as a WIP, and I just could not get my mojo. I couldn't see properly, and I don't remember what I stitched, but I didn't stitch very much because I think I just did like a couple of these green leaves, and I could not. I was like, I don't know if I'm putting in the right hole or not, and I was trying to get, and I know all you can do all the things, put something white behind it, put it, and I could kind of see it, but not well enough to do a whole lot. So I only did a little bit, but. So I was a little concerned because I did another leaf or whatever, and I got to this one up here, I think, and I was having a lot of trouble. And I thought, well, I could do it, I guess, like during the day, but for some reason that evening I couldn't do it. And I don't know if it was my eyes or if I was tired or whatever, but I couldn't get it. But then the other night I started stitching on it, and I was fine. So I did all of this with the cat
Faker.
last night, I think.
Faker.
So it's going really well, except that this part, the little white cheeks, I was going along and like, this isn't right. Something, and it's because they were like 1 square too high. So I took it out and redid them. Because I thought, well, I could kind of go around it, but then the other cat that's right next to it is basically identical. So I'd have to do the same mistake on that cat or whatever. So like, I ain't doing it. I'm fixing it. So I fixed it. I had to play thread chicken because I had already. It was a separate piece of thread, and I had already cut it. And instead of putting a new piece of thread, I thought, oh, I can do that. So I sat there, played thread chicken. But yeah. Anyway,
maybe that's one of the things that I have trouble with cross stitch is the whole having to change a thread every 2 seconds. It drives me a little crazy.
Yeah. So anyway, that's this one. It's coming along. It's almost done because the only other. Well, no, it's not almost done.
I was gonna say
There's
a huge border.
Yeah, there's another cat. Then the border stuff.
Oh, you did the tree.
Yeah. I did the tree. I did all the leaves.
That's nowhere near done.
So yeah, there's another cat.
I'd say maybe halfway. One third.
A third, yeah, because there's a lot of border stuff, and yeah. So that's anyway. So that is one of my WIP-GO things, and the other thing is this. I have this copy of it. Al Forrest embroidery monster wonder whale kit. And so it comes with all the threads, overdyed threads, and comes with the linen, very nicely serged linen. And it comes with this needle minder. The big kits come with everything. The smaller kits that you could order from Al Forrest don't have a needle minder or whatever, but they have all the threads and everything. So last time I did this, I had just done a little bit of this little spout thing, and I finished the spout, and then I started working on the waves under the whale, and I think this is I want to say 32 count linen. I don't know, something like that, but it's lovely to work with, and
Isn't she lovely?
so I'm working on these waves under here, and yeah. And I was working on the cant piece because I thought I can knock that out, I can finish it, and I just kind of like, I don't want to work on that anymore. I want to work on other stuff. So because I had pulled out the wonder whale thing, to sort of find my way on that, and I got all excited about it and started doing it. The other thing I want to point out is my hedgehog bag that I got at Hobby Lobby. Just a little, I got my little notions in there. But I was torn between, there's this hedgehog bag and there's another bag that has sloths on it that looks just like this. But I chose hedgehogs instead because they're cute. But I had this as my camp stuff. So that's me. That's me.
All right. Was it story time then?
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell my quick one.
What's your quick story?
My dog
We all know her dog.
is a wild thing. And she was behaving, and I was cross-stitching on my camp project. And I sit on a couch toward the window, and a lot of times I spread my project over here, but I was trying to even out the toile and stuff to make it the same length, right? To start doing that. And my son decided then to get the dog all riled up. She went running up over my stuff. I had the needle in here, which she ran over. And she ran over my pattern and my, you can see it better this way.
Trees.
Yeah, I'm like,
That's not your actual pattern. That's just
no,
the cover.
the pattern is also bent, but yeah.
Oh, no.
But, you know. But I was very happy that she didn't stab herself with the needle. Because, she's a dog. She didn't know there's a needle.
Well, when I was working on this, and I had my little corner there next to me, in the cat-free area.
It's not that cat-free.
Yeah, it's not. But like if the cats try to get there, I'm like, no, you stay back there. And Snug, he knows he's not supposed to get there, and I have to kind of scold him, whatever. But he's pretty much okay with it. But Puck, if I tell him not to get over there, then he slaps at me. He gets mad,
so naughty.
And if because I can't push him the way I can push Snug. If I push him, then he turns around and smacks me. But
what is it? Our Aunt Mary Lou always says, Beth's living in an abusive relationship.
But I had my kitty pattern unfolded here, and he was lying on it smashing it like get off. And it was like So yeah, I have to be very cautious with him.
Oh my gosh. Well, I meant to tell this story. Look at this bag. Isn't it the cutest thing you've ever seen?
It's very cute.
I bought this at a kitchen store in Boston. They had this little size and I think a bigger size, but it's perfect for socks. That's why I've been keeping my sock knitting in. So I really like it. Isn't it cute? It's like the Mona Lisa and then a bear looking at it and a little mouse boy or little mouse child. He doesn't want to look at the paintings. He wants to go play or something. But it's so cute. I fell in love with it, and Hannah's like, "You need to get it, Mom. You need to get it." Well, I thought it had a stain. It's just fuzz. Because I'm full of fuzz. But okay. So camping stories. So we went up on Wednesday and planned to leave early, but wound up not leaving till 11. So we got up there kind of late. We wound up not even having lunch up there because we wound up having lupper. But set up, everything's good except so dirty. Of course it's camping, right? But this particular area was just dirt. Not even any pine needles or anything. So every time you took a step, it was like I told Eli, you look like Pigpen, just like this cloud of dirt following him. But so we went up there and we were, we're so fussy about where we camp. All of us are. And we drove around forever looking for the perfect spot. And I wanted a spot that was kind of close to the lake, but there were too many campers around, motorhome kind of campers. And the kids and Mark were like, there's too many people. And I was like, but the lake's right there. So, and then we found a place. So in this campground, all the loops are to the left like that. And there were a few spots on the right-hand side of the road. So we actually found a nice spot there. And behind our camp, a little ways you walk, and then there's a huge drop-off into like a huge cliff, and then there's a river down there. And it was too steep to hike, and none of us are in shape to do that. But but what that means is there's exposure on that side, right, to the wild wilderness. And we're setting up. We finally got all set up, and we're making dinner, and the camp host drives up, and he says, I don't know if you heard, but there's been a bear sighted here last night, and I just want to make sure you're aware, make sure you're being careful with your food, and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh yeah, we always are. But we were like, and he goes, and where was it? And he's like, well, it just came right over here, basically up that ridge into the campground. I'm like, oh, okay. And they had set a bear trap down by the dumpster, but he wasn't taking the bait. And then, bear trap's just like a can. I have a picture, actually. I'll put it here of the bear trap. But he wasn't taking the bait. And so, and they're like, and I don't know why I thought bears were I don't know when I thought bears would come, but he was like, it was right around this time, like 6 o'clock in the evening. And I'm like, okay. So we need to make sure we have dinner every night before the sun, like well before dusk.
Mm-hmm.
And then around that time, there goes the Forest Service driving around looking for the bear. And he's there doing this. And then when it got dark, he's there with his light like this, right around our whole tent, like the whole area. We're like, oh, I told my husband, I'm like, I am a little nervous.
Yeah, but at least you know that they were paying attention and looking and being responsible.
The story gets better. So then that was Wednesday, I guess it was, yeah. And then on Thursday evening, so the forest guy on Thursday day stopped by and he said, did you have any trouble with the bear last night? And we're like, no. Was he here? And they're like, yeah, we saw him up at loop 9. And we were like around loop 3. And I was like, oh crap, okay, no, we didn't see him. And then that evening, just before, probably 5 o'clock in the evening, we see the Forest Service truck driving the bear trap up to loop 9.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay. But then that night he patrolled, but then Friday we didn't see them drive the bear trap down, and we didn't hear from anybody. And there was a little store on the lake, and we had gone on Friday to the store, but it was closed, and there was nobody around. We found out why, and that's because, and I remember this on Thursday night, we were kind of laying in our tent. It was early-ish. I mean, it was dark, right? But we were in our tent kind of chatting and goofing around, and I heard sirens. And I'm like, why am I hearing police sirens in the middle of the wilderness? Like, this is weird. Turns out this was the Apache reservation where we were, White Mountain Apache tribe area land. And apparently some guy was stopped by police, and tribal police, and he shot one of the officers and wounded another, and
killed an officer and wounded the other.
killed one and wounded the other, and took his car. And they chased him to not our lake but the next lake, Holly Lake. Chased him in there and shot him and killed him.
Oh my God.
And so everything was shut down Friday. The whole the Forest Service and everybody was involved in all that on Friday. So we never heard about the bear. And then Saturday morning, we had Eli and I. Well, fishing is another story. But after fishing Saturday morning, we were going to go down to the store because I was craving, And we go down there. They don't know anything about the bear. But when I went to start the car, it goes. And I'm like, oh no. And I realized because we, all weekend we were like opening the hatch, getting all the food out, leaving the hatch open, not thinking about the lights inside. Yeah. And so I was like, well, we better drive the car around for a little while. So the kids and I were going to go to the store, but we decided to go up to Loop 9 and drive up there because we didn't go that far when we were looking for a place. And it's a good thing we didn't, because we probably would have picked up there and then the bear would have eaten us. But we went up there, and it was actually a lot like New Mexico. Very, like where we were was ponderosa stands and aspens, right? But up there was almost all aspens and deciduous trees and lots of grass. And it was kind of a little bit close in. Like, I'm not even sure where we would have put a tent because the campsites were very scrubby. Like, it would have been good with a camper, but but it was gorgeous. And I noticed that the access to the river on the other side is flattened out up there, and I think that's why the bear was coming that way. And so we're driving around, and it was beautiful, and the loop kind of goes right down by the lake up there, and we saw cows, and I was so happy to see the cows. And then we went down to the store, and then we came back up, and we had our little snack. Nobody in the store knew anything about the bear. They were like, oh, I don't know. And I'm like, okay, somebody needs to tell me about this bear. So then after, we went back with a couple ice cream sandwiches. It was really fun. And afterward, the kids wanted Mark to see the the Loop 9. So we decided to go drive around again. And we went up there, and we saw a family in a camper, and we had our windows down, you know, because we were just driving around. And so I waved to them, and I said, "It's beautiful up here." And he goes, "Yeah, it's real peaceful." And I said, we were down by Loop 3 or whatever. And I said, "Did you guys see the bear?" And the wife says, "Yeah, he crashed through our shade structure. He knocked our shower tent over. He tried to get into the trash can, but they had like a trash bin with a tight-fitting lid. He tried to get in there, but he couldn't because of the lid and everything." And I was like, and I'm thinking, "And you're still here?" And then he goes, "Yeah, and the other day we saw a brown bear swimming across the lake." And I was like, I would have pooped my pants if I'd have seen a brown bear swimming across the lake. Oh my gosh. So it was like quite shocking. But the trap wasn't up there, so maybe they got him. I don't know, but but that was adventure. No, so Eli and I fished every day. We fished Thursday morning, Friday morning, Saturday morning, and we went out early. Thursday we didn't get out quite so early, but Friday and Saturday we went out pretty early. And Saturday, you know, Eli woke up at like, we'd go to bed so early that we'd wind up waking up at 4. And by the way, birds wake up at 4, and the sun comes up at 5. And the birds always... So it's funny because the first night we had a horrible night sleeping. It was awful. And none of us could sleep. And we were up all night and this and that. And Eli goes, "I was up where I heard the owl stop hooting and the birds start singing." It's like this transition time.
Yeah. Well,
I've done that.
When I was in college, I went to a Baptist college, and we were on a retreat thing, and one of the girls, I don't know, some people were up, and one of the girls who was a preacher's daughter, she goes, "God doesn't even get up till 7.
Well, the birdies are up at 4 saying, "Hey, get up." So Eli had woken up around, I guess it was around 5, it's around just before 5, I think. He's like, "Mom," I'm like, I told Mark, ever since they were little, you and I are sleeping side by side, and I am the one they wake up. I don't understand. And here they are, 25.
Because you'll wake up.
And "Mom, I need to go to the bathroom." I'm like, I almost said, "Well, the sun's up, honey. Go ahead." Like at night, I would, you know, understand they need company, but I'm like, fine. So we got up, and I was like, "After you go to the bathroom, we're gonna get dressed. And we're gonna go fishing. We're just gonna go." I want to be out there as early as possible because I wanted to get this one spot where this guy was catching fish the day before, and I was having no luck. So I was like, I want that spot, and we got that spot. And I fished for 3 hours, and I caught nothing. But I'm learning to fly fish, and if I had my bait fishing gear, I would have caught something. I'm confident of that. But I was trying to be purist, trying to learn, and I did learn a lot about casting and everything else. But I didn't do the research about what flies I should use. Blah 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 blah. So anyway, but it was fun, and we had a good time. But poor Hannah, she got so sick the first morning because, you know, Aunt Flo visited. And she was hoping Aunt Flo would come before we went up.
It's no fun in the mountains.
But no, it was there. So she was very, I'm sorry, she's going to be mad at me, but she doesn't watch her videos, so.
She was unhappy.
She was very unhappy. No, she got, dry heavey sick that first morning, and
the elevation probably didn't help.
Yeah, well, altitude, that, plus dehydration, plus.
Because where she lives, altitude isn't there.
Right.
So.
And, where we live, this city is at sea level.
I know, but I mean, it's not like she's anywhere used to it.
Right. So, so she was pretty sick that first morning, but she felt better right away. But overall, we had a nice time. By the second night, we were sleeping like rocks, and we had a good time. But I brought way too much food, and the car was packed like this. And I was like, we'll have more room on the way back because we'll have less food. But it was still... there was moments when we went up that I was like, this is not going to work. This isn't. Remember, I told you how confident I was. It's like, oh, it'll be fine. Well, no. It was so scary.
It's better to go up with too much food than not.
Oh,
Or to
absolutely.
eat sardines and crackers.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so but that was good, and we ate well, and
The
everybody.
only reason that happened is because we decided to stay
I
on.
know.
But
Mom was always really
how
good.
long did we camp when we were kids? Was it like 1 week, 2 weeks?
Usually 1 week.
1 week.
Yeah.
Even that, like we were there. My dad was a little bit ill, and so we came home early. And Eve was like, I feel bad. I'm like, no, because we were actually kind of all going like, I think I'm done. Like, I think I'm kind of tired, and I think my back hurts, and I think I miss my pillow, and I think I miss my bathroom. Like they had porta potties, and it was pretty pleasant at first, and then it got really not pleasant after a while. And we're like, well, I think it's time to go home. But
Yeah, I was texting her, telling her,
yeah,
I just don't want you to be surprised.
yeah, and I was like, I can't, I gotta go home. But and I'm glad I did. But we, like I said, we were ready, and the kids were fine.
It's
The kids
better than
were
you
fine.
having to use the tent of
Yeah.
shame like we did that one time.
Yeah. It was good. But and actually, Hannah liked the porta potties more than the vault toilets because you know those vault toilets, the air comes up and she didn't like that. So
Yeah.
when she was a kid, she used
Those
to be
are always
really
creepy.
freaked out by those. But yeah, it was a good time. I'm glad we went. We needed a little getaway like that, and especially after losing Quilter, we were so sad. And Eli actually was able to really process while we were there because he avoids a lot, and so it was good to let him, like in the middle. That's one of the reasons we didn't sleep that first night. He was very upset, and you know, and he says, "I'm sorry if I ruined our camping trip." I said, "Honey, feeling your feelings isn't ruining anything. Ruining things is when you don't feel your feelings, and then it comes out in anger, or you're,
Inappropriate times.
yeah, or
whatever.
you're just acting like a jerk because you're upset and you don't know why, or you won't process why." I said, none of us minds you crying. Like we're all crying, we're all hurting, and so it was good for him, I think, to be able to have that time away with the family without any electronic distractions, that are so easy to do and keep your brain, away from trauma. So it was good. It was really good, and we got to be able to just quietly talk it through, and it was good. So it was fun. It was a fun time.
So
It was had by all.
that was so we had a bear story when we were kids. We used to go camping at Santa Barbara, our
In New
favorite
Mexico,
place.
yeah.
It's between Santa Fe and Taos, up there, and so we had gone camping, our family and my Uncle Paul's family, their family of 4, our family of 6, and my Aunt Mary Lou. So we were all kids, and so
Where did they stay? Did they have a camp?
we were all
All in
crammed
the
in the
camper?
camper because Uncle Paul, Dad and Uncle Paul slept on the floor. Mom and Aunt BB and Aunt Mary Lou and Judy, I guess, slept on the overhead thing in the camper, and then the bunk bed thing. Tim and Paul slept. I guess you slept up there with Mom.
Yeah.
Tim and Paul were on the top, and we were in the coffin.
In the coffin, yeah.
In the dining room area.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
the
we were all smaller.
the
then.
dinette, made it to
We were all
made it
much
to bunk
smaller.
beds.
Yeah.
But so anyway, we were all up there, and we had eaten lunch, and my mom and my Aunt Bibi and my Aunt Mary Lou, they were there, cleaning up, and I guess my Aunt Bibi had asked my Aunt Mary Lou if she would walk up to the water pump. We called it visiting the German Shepherd. There was a bathroom up, a little ways up from where we were camping, and they asked her if she would, go
We
get
called
some
it the
water.
German Shepherd because there was a family
There was
with a
a
big
family
dog
with
there.
a dog there, yeah. So
there was
they had
one
asked her to go get water up from the pump to wash the dishes, and she didn't want to go. And my Uncle Paul was there, and he said, "Oh, I'll go." And so
Good thing.
Yeah.
yeah, so I guess we were all playing by the river, and my dad was fishing.
Yeah.
And so my Uncle Paul walked up there to get some water, and when he got up, it was like the section we were in was a lower section that was, like free, no camping, and then the upper section were paying areas, and so there was a sign there, dividing the sections, and so when he went up there, there were some people up there that were all excited about something. And he's like, what's going on? And they said, oh, there was a bear here. And somebody had a Polaroid picture that they had taken of the bear by the sign and all the stuff. And my uncles were like, oh, gosh.
Because he knew all of us kids were playing in the river.
He said, where did they go? Where did the bear go? And the guys, they said, he went down by the river. So there was a trail, along the river. And my uncle knew that we were all playing the river. And he was, the kids. So he was walking down the trail back toward where we were playing to try to, to tell us to get away from the river, I guess. And he was walking down the trail, and he said, I came face to face with a bear because I dropped the buckets and went one way, and the bear went the other way. It was, he came into the camp, and we packed up and left right away.
Oh, really? I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Not stupid like us. Oh, okay, there's a bear. I guess we'll stay longer.
Well, yeah, when you actually run head first into the bear, though, you're like, that's not just up there somewhere. It's right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not a very big river. The little river that goes by there. It's like deep in places, but for most of the time, it's like
you can
maybe
walk
knee
across
deep
it.
or something. Yeah, you can wade across in places, but and it's not very wide. It's a small river. Cold water. But yeah. So and on the other side of the river from the campground is basically wilderness. So it's very scary wilderness sometimes.
Yeah.
You don't know what's over there.
Yeah.
But yeah. So we went camping up there since from the time we were kids to the time we were adults.
Well, it's funny because that's one thing we were talking about, Mark and I, because, when we had, I think I talked about it last week, that we had our old tent and we pulled it up and we're like, this is too small. Our kids are like twice as big now. And they have big clothes and they have big, they're just big. So it's like, we're all adults now. So but we got our big tent.
And they eat more.
But the tent worked out well. The beds worked out well, or as my dad calls them, the balloons, the inflatable beds that worked. And Mark was smart. He got a canvas sheet. Basically, it was a piece of canvas that was almost the whole size of the tent floor, and we put that down. So then all our dirty shoes and everything was on that instead of getting the tent super dirty. It was very nice, and so that worked out real well.
My grandfather my dad's dad had a lot of children, and he would record those children's names in the Bible. And after he recorded the last one, or something, he wrote underneath there, and they all eat.
He's so funny. He was a funny guy.
Yeah, he was funny, but it's like these kids are wonderful, but this was like, depression times and stuff.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So other stories. We at the symphony we opened our season, and we're selling our season tickets. But we're making a huge change to the way we're doing subscriptions, and some of the people are not happy. And there was one guy, he was an English guy, and somehow it made it worse that he was English. That he was so angry because he sounded so calm, but he was really grilling me and like, I think you guys really made a mistake and blah blah blah. He was very unhappy, but so. Hannah's best friend's father is English, and he's very sweet. But this guy had the same tone and timbre of voice, so I felt like it was him. And I was like, it felt like I don't know, it felt weird. And I was like, are you so mad at me? But he was so angry. But actually, most people are like, okay. Like, I think they're happy that we're having a full season. And
Yeah.
most people are happy. And then, but I talked to this guy yesterday, 91 years old. And he's like, wait, let me get my Apple Pay app up so I can give you my credit card number. And he was a total jokester, just like this one.
Yeah.
And he, like, same kind of dad jokes and stuff. And he's like, what's your... so because we're changing everything, we've divided our patrons up between us, patron services reps, so that, like, we're, like, their special contact. Well, he wasn't on my list. I processed his thing, but he's on one of my colleagues' lists. And I was like, I want him, because he was so sweet. But... he asked me my name, and he goes, oh, Naomi, there's a song with your name in it. And I was like, oh, yeah? Because I'm thinking, no, there ain't.
Yes, there is.
There is. That Cake by the Ocean, but I know this 91-year-old man doesn't know Cake by the Ocean.
No, there is another one.
What?
One of those from when I was in high school. There is.
All right, well, if you know the song with my name in it, I would like to know, because I really don't know. I know there's Cake by the Ocean, right? There's that, but I know this 91-year-old man doesn't know that song. But so I said, "Oh yeah, what song is it?" And he goes, "Well, I haven't written it yet." You are a flirt. And then we were talking and we got disconnected.
Mm.
So I called him back, and he's like, he got back on, and he goes, While we were disconnected, I was working on your song. And I said, all right, well, on opening night, I expect you to come to the box office and sing it to me. He goes, well, I've been arrested in the past for singing. He was so funny and so sweet. So I wrote on the notes in his account, because we make notes of where they want to sit, so that when we put the seats in, we know what their preferences are. And I said, he's adorable and deserves everything he wants.
There's a commercial that it catches me as many times as I've heard it. You would think I would know what it was, but every time I hear it, they're talking about it's some wine.
Yes.
Vineyard, something called Naomi.
Yeah.
And every time I hear it, because I'm like, I'm not paying attention, and I hear it, and I'm thinking they're saying Naomi.
Right.
And they're saying Naomi.
Naomi.
It's a reason why Naomi did this.
Yeah.
Such and I'm like, what?
Yeah, so there's been a couple people who are like, I know Naomi, or my daughter's name is Naomi, or, something weird like that. But it doesn't happen very often. But
Feels like my name is common.
But then, of course, there was don't forget the electric company.
Mm-hmm.
And what about
Naomi?
I was so freaked out by that as a kid, because I was like, how do they know my name? And also, no one knows my name, and
nobody has that name.
Nobody has that name. Every time I meet someone with my name, I'm like, okay, how many ways do people spell your name wrong?
Well, when I was a kid, Mom said she thought my name was so unique that and then when I started school, like, everybody had a kid named Beth or whatever, Elizabeth or some and everybody I know, my middle name is Annette, so every Beth or Elizabeth I know has some form of Ann as their middle name. So Elizabeth Ann, Beth Ann, whatever. Well, there's a floss do channel. Elizabeth Ann can stitch. So
Not me and Eve.
My friend Grace used to call me Elizabeth all the time because her middle name is Elizabeth.
Oh, I see.
So yeah.
Not me and Eve. Eve and I got the cuckoo names.
Well, just be happy you're
and
not.
Tim too. Tim's first name is cuckoo name.
Yeah.
It's Hiram. Like, who's those?
You just be happy your name is not Elaine, because
I am happy that my name is not Elaine. I'm very happy.
We were all going to be E's because my mom's name was Esther, and so she's Elizabeth. I mean, Evangeline Elizabeth, and she
Naomi's song. Well, play it. I hope we don't get dinged for that. Okay, so there's a song. I'll have to look it up later. I just realized as you started playing it, I thought, oh no, the bots are gonna get us. I hope the bots don't get us. Well, now I'm very happy. Well, I think we need to go because I gotta go pack. Again.
Yeah, and I spend the night at her house. So we can leave,
I hope we can leave early.
Yeah.
But lately I've been getting up at 3 and I get so sleepy at 9. I'm like, how old am I now? So I need to get a normal night's sleep and I need to pack. And my husband's gonna be home any day, any moment. And I didn't do enough today. No, I did. Actually, I did some laundry, but there's actually laundry in the washer that I left when it was time for Dad's appointment today. I was like, I'm just gonna leave it. It's just acrylic blankets. It's not a big deal, but I'm like, oh. Anyway, so I have a lot to do tonight, and we need to practice.
Yes. I have to make sure that I got my cats all.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you come over later, but I gotta go home and get everything ready and.
You would think the way that they're unprepared that it would be 11 o'clock or something in the daytime. It's almost 6.
I know.
Well, I actually packed last night as much as I could.
Good. Yeah, good.
Because
you know what? All my clothes are clean. That's what hinders me from packing is when I have not done my laundry. But all my laundry's done, so we're good.
Yeah. Well, I've been thinking for about a week or so
about
everything I need. So last night I just had
I need to pack concert clothes.
Yeah.
I'm going to figure that out too. All right. Enough of our problems.
We'll have to block out the song, but
we'll block it out with something. But anyway, thank you so much for joining us, and we will be back with Tales of Albuquerque and Youth Symphony, and hopefully I won't mess up too bad.
You'll say, we'll do better next
year. Oh yeah. Is that all you got? Bassoons, is that all you got? Right. All right, well, it's been great chatting with you this week. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.